Today's topic, why your customers won't find great Salesforce developers. I still remember when I used to work at Salesforce that customers who clearly saw the value of Salesforce asked me and the AEs if we knew anyone who can join them, any developers who can join them full time, because they really want to go heavy on Salesforce and don't want to rely on external consultants. And I said, well, that's great, but it was oftentimes quite challenging. Let me explain this with a recent example I came across. A company wanted to hire a Salesforce developer. I had a look at the job description, and these are the required skills. First and foremost, of course, there were a bunch, but I categorized them now in the following. There were technical skills, of course. They purchased Sales Cloud and Pardot. And of course, so the desired candidate should be familiar with the Salesforce platform and should know, of course, Apex, Lightning components, and basic APIs to connect to their backend systems. All right. Then there were also some other requirements which were more business related. Okay, so they wanted someone who has business acumen, which we all want, of course. Like, don't build a feature just because you can doesn't mean you should. And then they wanted someone, of course, who has project management skills. Yeah, and to bring that into the organization, which was the third part or category, let's say, change management. Okay, so this person should also do stakeholder management. So not only managing the end user, but also being able to present to the executive team to explain technical limitations or capabilities, and then also be able to train the organization. Okay. So now if you think about, if you look at all these three categories, how many people do you know have all these three? I know a handful of people who have these skills. They are great technically, but they have a business mindset first. So they say, okay, what should we achieve? And then move backwards to the technology, but then also they are able to implement that. And then they are able to drive the change within the organization. These people are very rare. The handful of people I know, they are all architects, the Salesforce ecosystem. And this challenge here, and that's a crucial point, has nothing to do with Salesforce. It doesn't matter if you're looking for an Apex developer. Now you can do a lot of things with JavaScript, with Lightning components. JavaScript is not, of course, the proprietary coding language of Salesforce. So, and any smart person can pick up Apex pretty quickly if they have a Java background. But this has nothing to do with Salesforce and everything with the rareness and the uniqueness of the people who possess these skill sets. And the people that I know, they are very senior. They have quite good salaries, and they work for consultancies. Because if you possess the skill set, would you like to work with only one company? No, you usually work with different engagements. Okay, so you have 3, 4, 5 engagements at the same time, work for a mid-size or large consultancy, and make maybe 150,000 a year, 200,000 a year. But that's ROI positive for them because they design this solution and they have projects that are 6 or 7 figures. But if you want to hire this company again wanted to hire, this should be the only person in the team. And usually, of course, if Salesforce, if companies start out with Salesforce and looking for a Salesforce developer, they are not going to hire 3, 5, 6 people straight away. Some do, Others probably don't. They are not aware that this is a super unique skill set. Okay? Um, and that is why you will not find great Salesforce developers or any developer. Because the way, there's a reason why Salesforce consultancies or any kind of IT professional services organization divides these functions or these categories into different roles. You have one developer who is mainly executing on the design that has been given to them by the architect. The business is then done by a business analyst, and the change management is maybe a project manager also. It depends on the roles a little bit, but there are business analysts, there are project managers, there are consultants, there are architects, and there are developers. But you will rarely find someone who combines all these skill sets and possesses all these very distinct skill sets. Okay? Most people underestimate this. And then they say, yeah, well, we can't find any developers who can write Apex. I said, that is not the challenge here. You're looking for the rock star, and you're probably not willing to pay for it, and you will not find them because they maybe are not so interested in working on one project only. Okay, so that is something, because here the sweet spot of all three is super challenging because you need to be able to look at a problem or a challenge from different angles. You need to have the business mindset on the top and then be able to go deep into the technical details in order to judge what makes sense and what doesn't. And then be able to drive that change within the organization. It's challenging. So have someone, if you have to choose a business-minded person who is not afraid to get their hands dirty on the technology, which means getting the admin knowledge in. Might be a recent graduate you can hire. And the technical stuff you can still outsource to a consultancy. You can offshore that, outsource that offshore. And then you can get pretty far with one person driving the change and being clear about the business requirements without maybe knowing every single detail about Apex code. Okay? All right, hope you find that useful, and I'll see you in the next one.